Hi, good morning, guys. Welcome to this Friday, October 17th. And it looks like the overnight has been nothing more than a freaking roller coaster. Man, then looking at that thing, I couldn't quite believe what I was seeing. What the hell happened in the overnight? So I guess they heard some news about some weakness in the financial, some credit issues on some banks, local banks. That's what I heard. Could I potentially be able to knocked it down? But you see here the overnight, they ran this one all the way down. We're pretty much back up to where we started. But then, man, look at that thing. We opened. We had weakness going into the close yesterday. We started off on the short side. We were not quite making it up above the 60s. We were just holding right there, and then they started taking that lower, right at the open, but not much. In London session, that oh boy, there we go, right all the way down here to the 65, 60s before they reversed it. So definitely some crazy stuff going on in the overnight. I would just take the whole thing with a big grain of salt right now. It's if this retracement just tells you that there's definitely some buying going on. It's a super volatile day ahead of us, but it's something spooked the market in a big way, and then there was pretty much a hard or a net buying uh, session after that to get us right back up again. So we are looking at the market, which is I would say range bound. Depending on how it goes, it's retracing pretty hard right now. But I mean, I would still kind of be a little bit cautious about this whole thing. So I would start off range bound. Watch it very closely that 66.30 to 50 level. We are right there now. These two support areas, we are above it. So they start taking out these two support areas again. I would be back on the short side in a big way. I think that then whatever that weakness was, may very well be still lingering. Uh, and and if they hold above it, I would just stay range bound. They're gonna have to take out that 67.20s before I start thinking long side of the market again. So we got a ways to go before we get there. But so starting off range bound this Friday, this rundown flash to the downside definitely had me a little bit concerned to get started. But it seems to be a one and done kind of a scare. We'll see how the day session shapes up. But that's kind of how we get started. So initially looking to buy against that 66.50, 66.30s, rotations back up. Below that, just stay on the short side and see how far they can take it on the downside. Still look for potential buying opportunities on the way down here, but just not very aggressively. On the way up, looking for shorts against the 66.70s, 85s, 95s, up to the 67.05s and the 67.15s. That would be basically looking for shorts all the way up here to these upper levels. Now I think the better shorts probably come higher up here if they get that far, but it doesn't necessarily need to be that way. If this is like a a bounce off the lows based on news, we could certainly, but there may be more to come. We can certainly see this reverse pretty hard. Doesn't mean that they had to trade it a whole lot higher. So at starting off range bound, let's see where they're going to go with this. So that's kind of how I'm getting started this Friday. So it looks to be an interesting Friday for sure. We don't have any news though, so we're still kind of just in this earning season, waiting for news, the Chinese US news, if any headlines comes out on that front and so on and so forth. So we've got stuff going on in terms of news, but those are, I think, the big two themes. This little credit thing with banks and bad loans is definitely something to pay attention to. But I think they're looking at the market reaction that could potentially be something which is relatively contained. All right, so bond market also popped pretty good in the overnight, and then they're right back down again. So starting off range bound on the bond market as well. Looking to sell strength, 1825, 1830 for rotations back down. Above that one, just stay on the long side, and we are heading higher again. And looking to buy weakness, 1810s, 1804s, 1728 to 30 for rotations back up again. And see how far they can take it. See if they can take out that low. If they take out this low, the 28, this support area, I would be looking at the short side on the bonds, but We'll see how volatile it gets. Looks like that reaction in the overnight has been reversed, but it doesn't mean it's going to stay reversed. Put it that way. On the Nasdaq, also a pretty crazy move. We'll see how that goes. Let me see. I found my F1 on the Nasdaq here. There it is. Yeah, pretty crazy move there too. So they ran it all the way down here to that support area at the 24,400s, and then right back up to the 24,700. So 400 point run up and down. Or no, 800 round turn, but 400 down, then 400 back up again. So definitely some crazy stuff going on in the overnight. And now they're back up in this range again. So I would just stay range bound on the Nasdaq as well and see where they're going to go with this. Until they start taking out this area, the 25,000s, I'm not going to be very excited about the long side. It's going to just stay range bound. So far it looks like buying it, like weakness is getting bought, but doesn't necessarily need to stay that way. And we just have to see how this whole thing's going to shake out going into the day session. But pretty good move to the downside in the overnight here on the Nasdaq. Now, for the Nasdaq session, I would say we are looking to buy against support 24,700s, 650s for rotations up. Below the 650s, just stay on the short side. On the way up, looking to sell strength, 820s, 860s, 910s. Well, you know the levels all the way up here until we get up to this 25,000. So 25,000 or 24,980 to 25,000, 25,030, these two resistance areas. If they come out, I would be more inclined to stay on it to look at the long side. But same as the ES, big bounce from the lows, and then the question is really how the day session is going to react. It's going to be further weakness, or if there's something else is going to go going on with that. So that's going to be the ticket to the thing to pay attention to. But it seems pretty volatile to get the day started. So I'm probably going to sit on the sidelines here and that's take it a little bit easy, you know. Let's see how this whole thing shakes out. And then finally on oil and gold. My gold, that one, man, the gold is also, I mean, you remember I could have changed my aggregation on this, but look at this thing. Wow. They were all the way up here to the 43.95s or 92, 90, 43.90s, let's say 90s. And then now they're down right back down to the 42.90s. $100 up, $100 down on gold. That's how crazy that one is getting. So I'm not touching gold right now unless I see a really good opportunity. Yesterday was a little bit too aggressive, and I just ended up paying for it. We'll see how the whole thing shakes out now. They run it down here to that mode, overshot that one, didn't quite down to the lower support. So you can see how volatile this is, just absolutely all over the place. So we will see where they're going to go. I would still trade it from the long side. I would give it a little bit more room. If this starts trading below, we have two support areas here, the 4300s and the 4285s. If both these comes out, I would look for more of a retracement trade. That would be the low of the session, low of the overnight, but also we've been on here a couple of times now testing this general area. And I can't quite draw another edge here because it's just volatility we're looking at. So, but I would say they take out that high volume node that the 4285s. I think we are heading lower at that point. That would be more of a technical retracement trade. So it's swinging wildly in gold. So I would just be very cautious trading that thing. Here you can see the F1, how crazy that looks. All right, so we have, I mean, it's just straight shot up here. So we start getting some value down here at the 4,000. So we have a 200, 250 points excess, I think, to the upside. I'm not sure if that's going to hold or not, but it definitely feels pretty excessive to the upside here. So at one point we're going to get the pullback, and man, it's been a short shot of that one. So anyway, gold, very volatile. I would stay away from it today until it comes down or you get some sense of what's going on with that thing. But look at these bars. These are like huge. 14 up to the 25, it's like 10, 11 point bars. That's huge. And then finally, oil. Oil, I rolled oil to the December expiration, and there we have it. So oil is active. They gap down a little bit, so they are up here, reverse retesting 57. Looks like we're almost getting a gap closure right now. So pretty much close the gap, but definitely lower prices in the futures contracts for the December oil. So don't forget, we're trading December oil, and right now we are trading it from the short side. Looks like the oil is definitely heading lower. So I would look to sell strength against the 57s, 5730s, 5770s rotations down. They start retracing past the 5775s. I would look for maybe retracement, see how far they can take it on the long side, but give it look for short setups against these first levels. I think the prices on oil will be coming down. Finally seeing that move to the downside we've been talking about. And it's pretty much right now, it's the risk premium coming off the Middle East situation. So there we have it. So that's oil and gold. So trade oil from the short side, gold from the long side still. Be mindful that gold could have a hard retracement trade. It could easily happen. Same with well, not so much oil as hard, but there could be some movement to the upside here based on the rollover and gap closure and consolidating with the prior contract. So that's where we are on oil and gold. So I would primarily trade oil from the short side and gold from the long side right now. But to look at gold, I mean, gold could set up a nice retracement trade. I mean, I know quite how to get into it because he tried to get short against the Tablet here. They overshot the Tablet by 17 up to 25. That would be like 8 points. So like my 50 tick stop is not, it doesn't even show here. And this is like so stupid. So anyway, that's where we are. All right, back to the ES and still making a little bit of headway to the upside, but yeah, back here to that area we started off we closed out yesterday. So let's see if that's going to be it, or if they're going to see further weakness. They watch that 66.50 and the 30s on the downside. If that comes out, stay on the short side. All right, guys, there we have it. I'll leave it there for now. It is Friday, so thank God it's Friday, and let's trade with a bit of caution. Anytime you have it's a crazy overnight like that, you really have to take a step back and try to figure out what the market is trying to do, because that volatility can get you chopped up pretty good, pretty good. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. I'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update later.